This is 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing first, your first warrior fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 10 wins and 1 loss. He stands at 181 centimeters tall and weighs in at 70.75 kilograms. Representing Akhmat Fight Club, fighting out of Grozny, Russia, please welcome Anzor Abdulkhozhaev! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 8 wins, 5 losses and 1 no contest. He stands at 179 centimeters tall and weighs in at 70.75 kilograms. Representing Izat team and fighting out of Uzbekistan. Give it up for Sanjarbek, the serious Erkinov! Our referee in charge of the action is Daranbek Jokayev.
Бойцы, правила знаем, не нарушаем. Внимательно слушаем меня. После команды стоп, все действия прекращаем. Все ясно? Покажите красивый, достойный бой. Удачи!
To go, cage door being closed, and Kirik, much like our first fight, this has all the fixings of being an incredible exchange.
Brave Nation, expect aggression. Anzor Abdulkhozhaev doesn't know anything but it. Sanjarbek Erkinov at his best when he's aggressive. The glove touch has happened. It's just about to blow up.
And if you're Anzor Abdulkhozhaev and you haven't fought in over a year, you're coming off a loss, you want to go in and make a definitive statement here, especially in your lightweight debut. There's that wide base I was talking about. Keep himself safe, in and out, lands the shot to the body, gets just outside of the pocket.
Brave Nation, that shot to the body isn't necessarily to cause any damage, it's to get reads. Both fighters right now are trying to get information on their opponent. What's the opponent's limb length like? How quickly do they respond? What kind of shots are they gonna throw? Could it be a big overhand right like that? Right now they're downloading a huge amount of information. The fighter who can download it the fastest is said to have the better fight intelligence.
Sanjarbek needs to be wary of overreaching. You need to keep everything tight when you're facing someone like Anzor Abdulkhozhaev. Again, right to the body. And they're going to be money in the bank. That's a cumulative damage, Kirik.
That jab that landed earlier didn't in and of itself cause any damage, but it allowed him to know, okay, I can touch him from there. Level change just a little bit lower, and the second time was the other hand that reached out.
Beautiful combination from Anzor. Into the clinch right now, and it's always dangerous when you clinch with an Akhmat man. Good solid knees from Sanjarbek Erkinov. Right in the open forum of the mat here, and we said that those jabs to the body were money in the bank, those knees were money in the bank, but look at that defense from Anzor. Just as I say that, commentator's curse ends up on his back. Sanjarbek with a huge takedown now inside control.
Brave Nation, Anzor wants to get on his side and try and get to guard. He's got the hips turned slightly, but Sanjarbek has very, very heavy hips.
I like how low Sanjarbek is keeping the hips here. Position before submission. You can see Anzor Abdulkhozhaev trying to get an underhook in, trying to create a little pocket of space to get the leg in.
There it
Does
is.
so beautifully, regards. As one butterfly hook, could hit a sweep here, chooses to go for guard, foot on the hip. That's usually indicative of a fighter trying to create space for a submission.
May also see a quick pop-up attempt as soon as the downward pressure is off. 2 feet in the hips.
May try and push, yeah.
Tend to indicate somebody wants to kick the opponent back and pop to standing.
May try bites. There's that push off, as you say. Needs to be wary of the up kick. Could fall into a triangle. Potential here for a triangle, but oh, the awareness of Sanjarbek Erkinov just to shoulder ride that off. Beautiful work.
It's got a height advantage, kept his position, kept his stance, didn't let that head get pulled way in front of the knee, was able to basically negate that triangle attempt before it ever was fully close to being in place.
And Anzor Abdulkhozhaev is being active from his back. He is trying to make things happen. If he was sitting in a closed guard the entire time, it would look like more of a defensive fighter, but you can see he's trying to open up, gets back to his feet, caught with a huge shot. I am loving everything about this fight, Kirik, but Anzor Abdulkhozhaev proving he has a chin. Just ate that shot and just kept coming forward.
That Brave Nation is one of the dangers of popping up to standing. It's what every fighter on bottom wants to do, but you can get your back taken and you can get your face smashed.
Beautiful sprawl needs to be, and transitions into the mount. Make it a mounted guillotine here. This looks tight, Kirik.
Hand positioning may be off by just a little.
Sanjarbek Irkinov trying to survive a full minute for Anzor Abdulkhozhaev to work. You can see the grimace on the face from our broadcast position. Oh, beautiful scramble from Irkinov, but he is not out of danger just yet. Able to re-guard, but he was in deep, deep waters there. Proved that he doesn't need the water wings and he's able to swim in those deep waters. Reversal of positions now. It's Anzor Abdulkhozhaev on top, and Anzor could be bleeding here, Kirik.
We do see a little bit of blood on his shoulder.
Not quite sure where that cut might have occurred. Needs to be wary of every time Irkinov opens the guard. That's usually a trigger that he's going to try and work for something, either a get up or a submission. So Anzor Abdulkhozhaev needs to be wise to that.
Anzor wants to be just a little bit busier with his strikes from top. I think he's probably getting outstruck punch for punch. Neither of them, of course, has too much on him.
Closing stanzas of the first round. A little bit strange there. We heard the 10-second clapper, then we heard a buzzer. We heard two buzzers there. Interesting.
What you saw there, Brave Nation, was the referee making sure there was no excess water on either of the fighters.
Anzor very light on the feet. Great proponent of that in and out wide base taekwondo, almost karate-esque style. Lands his shots, gets out of the pocket, but we've seen how quickly Sanjarbek Irkinov can fire off a shot. The excitement we've had already, and this is only our second bout of the night, ladies and gentlemen. We, of course, have an incredible main event on the brave portion of the card with Olyas Iskariev taking on Rolando D. Incredible. Stay tuned for that in a little bit. Right now it is Sanjarbek Irkinov taking on Anzor Abdulkhozhaev, and it's Sanjarbek who's skirting the cage. Could see Anzor try and pressure and take down, but big shot over the top. It's the way that Sanjarbek can just spring forward into life. Looks docile, then all of a sudden, big shot.
Anzor may be stalking just a little bit too much. Brave Nation, if you know what your opponent is going to do, you will win. Everything in this sport has to be disguised.
Another big takedown attempt, but denied this time. Beautiful sprawl by Anzor Abdulkhozhaev.
Problem, of course, that takedown attempt wasn't quite set up enough, kind of came out of nowhere.
Needs to set that up with his hands, doesn't he, Kirik? A 1-2 or a 2-3 combination.
Exactly, Phil. If you're not punching or your opponent's not punching, it's not the right time to shoot, as you saw right there.
That was a prime example of it, wasn't it, Kirik? Shot in blind. Anzor Abdulkhozhaev had the time to assess, download the data, as you say, had the sprawl loaded. And right now he finds himself in top position in that half guard or half mount, depending if you're a half full, half empty kind of guy.
Anzor throwing some fairly hard shots from top.
Trying to work up the body, and by working that body, he's trying to open up a shot to the head.
Brave Nation, those shots may look like little more than annoying on television, but we are live here and in person. They are landing with impact. They are causing damage.
And for anyone that's ever been hit in the ribs with an MMA glove, it just feels a little bit different. Sanjarbek very much just holding on at the minute. Carrick, would it be within his best interest to try and re-guard, try and get full guard, or to create distance, shrimp out? Nice little elbows being landed by Anzor, just doing enough to keep himself honest to stop the referee from standing them up.
Half guard, unfortunately. Half guard, Phil, as you know well, and grappling is the most point-rich position you can possibly be in. There's nowhere you want to be but bottom half guard. MMA, you're half mounted. This is not where Sanyarbek wants to hang out for the rest of this fight.
And it is becoming a lot more popular as almost an anchor position from which fighters settle and do a lot of work there, accumulate damage, accumulate points.
Sanyarbek's body is coiled. If there is any possible time he can get out, he's waiting for it. But right now, as you said, he's anchored down in that half guard, and he's taking some punishment. Between the shots coming down from top and the riding time, no question who's winning this round, Phil.
Great work again to the body, cumulative damage for Anzor. And if you could have made an argument either way for the first round, the second round, as you say, pretty definitive thus far. Anzor Abdulkhozhaev just doing everything he needs to do, solidifying the position, landing strikes.
Sanyarbek's body is coiled, though. If he gets an opportunity, he's going to pop to. He can pop to standing. He can try and effect a sweep. There's a lot of options he's got here right now, but unfortunately, none of them are available.
Well, the impetus now really does lie with Irkinov. He's the one that needs to make something happen. Abdulkhozhaev is the one winning the fight in this position. And you can see the reddening up of the ribs really starting to take its toll.
Phil, I hope very much that the referee does not stand him up.
He has no need to. Realistically, Carrick, he has no need to.
You often get situations in mixed martial arts where things aren't changing, and so the referees feel the need to do something different. But I think right now, the Ahmad fighter is doing everything he should.
And you can hear the dull thud of those strikes.
Short time now, Brave Nation.
Be interesting to see if the breathing of Irkinov is impeded by those multiple shots to the ribs. That is taking the wind out of the sails of Irkinov and a potential intelligent investment for Abdul. Again, Anzor Abdulkhozhaev takes the center of the cage, that predatory position that we know him by. Leading the dance, forcing Irkinov to skirt the cage, but Irkinov coming forward now, trying to assert a little bit of dominance of his own.
Sanyarbek doing a good job now. He's not being too obvious with his attacks. Playing with the distance between them, circling left and right. Attacking when he thinks he sees something.
Oh, that's a nice shot. Again, Irkinov overreaching a little bit, maybe because he's tired, but again, potential for this ninja choke here, rolling with it.
Fantastic.
Just like that!
Wow!
Anzor Abdulkhozhaev back!
Ladies and gentlemen, the fight was stopped after 49 seconds of the third and final round. And the winner, by way of guillotine, in the blue corner, Anzor Abdulkhozhaev!
Bout of 68 kilograms. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 11 wins and 1 loss. He stands 181 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 67.8 kilograms. Representing Akhmat Fight Club and fighting out of Grozny, Russia, please welcome Anzor Abdulkhozhaev! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 15 wins and 8 losses. He stands 177 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 67.9 kilograms. Representing Josh Kuch team and fighting out of Kyrgyzstan, please give it up for Nemat Eagle Abdulkhozhaev!
Against 29 years from the Kyrgyzstan fighter, Nemat Abdulkhozhaev.
You forget just how young Anzor is because he's so comfortable and so loose in there. It must be stated that Nemat has had difficulty in the past with southpaws, and Anzor does have a tendency to switch effortlessly.
He did that on cue there, Phil, for you. Switch stances, must have been hearing the commentary, wanted to make you look particularly good this evening. Nice switch of stances there, and we have Abdulkhozhaev in the red corner, Abdulkhozhaev in the blue.
The thing about switching so much is it almost doubles up on your opportunities for different entries into the takedowns, or to keep your opponent guessing with strikes coming from different angles.
I've got to say, looking at the frame there of Nemat Abdulkhozhaev, he's very heavy on top. Those big shoulders, those pectorals, those big biceps there compared to a much slighter Anzor Abdulkhozhaev.
But don't get mistaken, ladies and gentlemen, Anzor Abdulkhozhaev is incredibly strong, freakishly strong.
Very calm and composed there. Kirik, we've had 1 minute so far of these two feeling each other out. What do you think they're seeing? What are they learning about each other right now?
This is the critical moment for elite fighters like this, when they are downloading huge amounts of information from each other on their opponent's reaction time, on how fast their opponent is, because you don't know what somebody's got no matter how much tape you watch until you actually fight them.
Look at the way he covered distance there.
Just snaps that straight right down the pipe, and it's almost as if he's baiting you into a false sense of security by being so calm and then bursting forward.
Covered the distance beautifully. That right hand that he had such success with against Rolando D, causing problems for Nemat.
And I like the subtlety of just the little level changes. He brings the jab hand down as if he's going to feint for the takedown and then springs forward.
And again, you highlighted it, Phil, on the walkouts. A very different style to the traditional fighters you would see coming out of the areas like Chechnya or Dagestan. He has the striking as well, and at such a young age. Whoa, what an exciting talent.
Has the wrestling, should he choose to use it if he wants to take you down, but he almost uses it in reverse, not unlike a Chuck Liddell, almost like reverse wrestling to keep the fight standing where he wants it.
Check out Abdulkhozhaev's feints. They're very, very subtle, but they're giving him a ton of information. Every little wiggle of his knee, wiggle of the hip, drop of the shoulder elicits a reaction from his opponent, and he's learning from that. When he throws a shot, does his opponent back up? Does he try to counter? Does he try to block? Once he gets that information down, which will happen sometime in the next 60 seconds, he's going to start to let the hands go.
Two very heavy leg kicks, and then that opened up the opportunity for the right down the pipe. Very smart.
What I particularly like about that was the way he angled off that straight strike, got out of the way, hit him, step to the left, reset his angle. Very high level stuff coming from Anzor Abdulkhozhaev.
And he's constantly in his opponent's face here. He's not standing off them at all. He's constantly, when they move, he moves. And he has this wonderful ability to almost get his opponents to mirror him a little bit.
Oh, big step in, uppercut coming there from Nemat Abdulkhozhaev. What I am impressed with both these fighters is just how loose they are, Kirik, in the striking realms.
This is high level mixed martial arts.
Another inside kick there coming from Anzor. 1 minute 25 seconds left in this first round. A little eye poke there, recognized as well there by Nemat. Didn't step in to make him pay on that.
Just shakes it off, gives a thumbs up to his opponent. And again, it's not that it's intentional, it's just with these gloves being open-handed. You know, you hear ad nauseum when you watch an MMA show. It is one of the occupational hazards of being a mixed martial artist.
Again, Anzor taking the center of the cage, light on his feet. Even just those little steps in and out. Look at that athleticism. The way he moves is so fluid, and the range he covers. He's put it on display already with shots just like that.
And he's getting closer and closer with that 1-2.
The right hand clipped the temple there of Nemeth. Nemeth much more aggressive now with the takedown attempt.
Forced to shoot in for the takedown, closing the distance well. Good head position from Nemeth, right underneath the chin of his opponent, because where the head goes, the body tends to follow, gentlemen.
And Kirik, when you see a fighter like that change the game plan, there was a little bit of desperation and frustration. He was slightly getting the, Anzor was getting the better of Nemeth, but Nemeth now forcing the game into a different world.
That's exactly what happened, but that is the definition of mixed martial arts. If you're not comfortable in one area, you take it somewhere else if you can, and it's the wrestling that allows you to dictate where it takes place. If your opponent is a better fighter, you push his hips up against the wall or take him down to the ground, at which point the hips are no longer behind the shots and they no longer are any great danger.
Very nice balance shown there by Anzor to stop the takedown from Nemeth.
Great rewards. I think we're going to see more of it. We're going to see more of world-class distance management.
Round 2 underway. Nemeth Abdulkhozhaev in the red corner. Anzor Abdulkhozhaev in the blue. Me, Brian Lacey, alongside Phil Campbell and Kirik Jenner's calling the action here for you at Brave 47. And it has been action-packed, gentlemen. Just that panning shot coming back to the cage. What a beautiful venue we are in, and what beautiful violence we are witnessing.
Nemeth trying to pop up with that head kick there. And like I say, you can see how Anzor is now. He's almost getting Nemeth to mirror him a little bit with that in and out style. And if you can do that as a fighter, you can almost then dictate the pace, flow, and rhythm of the fight.
Certainly trying to get him to play into his world. Oof, nice inside kick there from Nemeth. Switching stances, that's a tell as well, Kirik.
It is. I'd like to see Anzor throw an outside calf kick to cut down on his opponent's ability to move those feet. I think he's trying just a little bit too hard to land those hands. He's got to put some money in the bank by throwing that shot right there. Beautiful technique.
There we go, one in return from Anzor as well. That's sometimes a tell, Phil, isn't it? That hurt, I want to give you one back.
Yeah, but again, Anzor with beautiful hands. You can see a little bit of reddening up on both the legs of the fighters here.
This truly is a world-class fight between these two. A catch weight of 68 for this bout, but I've got to say, featherweights need to be aware of both of these fighters. Oh, deep, heavy calf kick there coming.
And then, like you said earlier, one in reply.
The outside calf kick hurts worse than the inside, though.
Again, just keeping it range. Nice boxing coming from Anzor. Oh, nearly one from Nemeth. Just clipped, glanced, and that's turned the wrestler into Anzor Abdulkhozhaev. Good takedown. Can't see what sort of bite on the neck, but he's only in half guard here. Be very difficult to finish this.
He does have a great squeeze on him with 2 wins coming by guillotine, but could be a ninja choke.
Ninja choke. Look at this, and he's using the cage.
Oh, that looks deep. He goes in and out of position.
Decky Larkin. Watch it carefully escape. Huge moment.
Wow.
What staying power by Abdulkhozhaev. And a big shot.
Big right hand. Wow.
Oh, he's followed him down. From the jaws.
Finish this.
It's over.
Wow. From the jaws of defeat.
Wow.
Nemeth Abdulkhozhaev takes the win.
Another incredible battle inside the Brave CF 47 cage. This comes to an end at 2 minutes and 27 seconds of the second round. Your winner by TKO from Kyrgyzstan, Nimat Eagle Abdulkhozhaev. All right, Brave Nation, this next battle is 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 8 wins and 1 loss. He stands 170 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 66.1 kilograms. Representing All Stars Training Center, Sweden, and Red Dragon, Iran, by way of Iran, please welcome Sohail the Wolf Davudi, and his opponent. Fighting out of the red corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 10 wins and 1 loss. He stands 181 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 66.2 kilograms. Fighting out of Akhmat Fight Club, out of Grozny, Russia. Give it up for Anzor Abdulkhozhaev.
As a kid, you would be scared to go and get it back. 22 years old he is against 23-year-old Anzor Abdulkhozhaev, and this fight poses a number of interesting questions. Both men fantastic wrestlers, both men dangerous strikers. Beautiful switch kicking started by Sohail.
Phil, that is the physical ability I referenced earlier during the walkout.
You can
The
see
speed, the power, the range of motion, the reflexes are mind-boggling.
what he does so beautifully is he throws that inside leg kick and follows up with the rear kick. The inside leg kick, although powerful, is more of a jab technique to... Oh, that's a beautiful kick to the body right there. Davudi opening up strong with heavy, heavy kicks to the leg, to the body.
Phil, Russia, USA, Brazil, widely understood as combat sports powerhouses. Davudi is trying to add Iran to that list because it is a fact. He's now stuck in an ninja choke.
Oh, that's a tight guillotine. That is so tight.
And then he's out. Takedown denied. Double knees. What a fight, Phil.
What a frenetic pace being started by both men, and against any other fighter, I would say that that high elbow guillotine looked very, very tight and potentially could have been fight ending. Oh, big shot landed there by Abdulkhozhaev and gets the takedown. Now in the half guard of Sohail Davudi. And right now, Davudi has that overhook, just trying to clamp down on it, trying to immobilize the pressure and immobilize the striking of Abdulkhozhaev.
Brave Nation, takedowns are important in mixed martial arts, but they are worthless without the ability to hold your opponent down. And that's what we're seeing right here. Anzor Abdulkhozhaev is showing the ability to hold his opponent on the ground while delivering punishment. Holding somebody down without launching an attack is relatively easy. It's very, very difficult to cause damage and hold your opponent down. We are seeing it successfully so far.
And he's trying to do everything he can now to pass. What he did beautifully just a few moments ago was he had that monkey grip on the ankle, and he used that just to position his opponent where he wanted them. Very, what you would call maybe a microaggression in mixed martial arts. Very smart, but right now inside the guard of Davudi, who has that knee shield across, perhaps to create a little bit of space. There's scope there for a potential sweep. Is he happy just to land strikes here? Is Abdulkhozhaev perhaps body, head? You can see him creeping around that knee shield. May try and step over, advanced back step into side control. Steps into the half guard. Davudi does a great job to get the guard back.
Unfortunately, Phil, when your hand's jammed up against the cage, there is very, very little you can do from that closed guard. It's a good defensive position. You can try and control the head, wrap an arm up, and wait for a referee stand up. But in and of itself, once those feet are crossed, there's very little you can do in the way of an offensive submission, a sweep, or a back take. In order to, and the feet are coming apart.
I thought potentially you may have seen Davudi try and go for a little bit of a bump sweep there, coming off that slicing elbow he threw at Abdulkhozhaev's head. But right now, Abdulkhozhaev, so calm at only 23 years old, and as we say, 10-1, has a wealth of experience in mixed martial arts.
When you see Davudi's feet come apart, expect something explosive to happen.
Nice elbow landed there by Abdulkhozhaev. As you say, there's the legs open, creating a little bit of distance, trying to kick off. You can see him just trying to use those feet on the hips to create distance. Abdulkhozhaev needs to be wary of the up kick in a position like this. Big overhand and dives right back in. May find himself landing in the side control position.
He's sinking down.
Beautiful heavy hips landing in the side control.
Arm is trapped with a leg scissor, but that's not a grip that's going to last for very long.
Nice little switch to scarf there from Abdulkhozhaev, keeping himself active, not allowing Davudi to try and dig in for that underhook underneath the body of Abdulkhozhaev. Nice knee to the body, and again that switch to scarf is just what that's doing so beautifully is it's bringing the arm of Davudi back up so he can't dig in for that underhook.
Phil, this top pressure is one of the characteristics of the game played at the Great Akhmat. Once these fighters get on top, it is very hard to get off your back and get up to standing again. They are masters at being just close enough to stay out of danger and close enough to hurt you, as we're seeing right here.
Nice smothering work done by Abdulkhozhaev there, and again into that side control position, switching the hips. Momentarily looked like he was going to step over the head, but right now he seems happy just to throw those knees right into the ribs of Davudi.
All right, Phil, 10-9 Anzor, no question whatsoever, correct?
He was opening up with heavy leg kicks, going outside, going inside, landing to the body, as you see in our Green Hill replay. And Anzor Abdulkhozhaev recognized that, done the smart thing, initiated the clinch, initiated the takedown, and took the fight where the Akhmat guys are unquestionably the strongest.
Agreed completely, Phil. I saw Sohail Davudi winning the stand-up exchanges. I think he's going to come out. Fighters keep in order. A little bit of water on the mat can cause dangerous slips. Excellent official work. Brave Nation, although this delays the play of the game by a couple of seconds, it's worth it.
Second round, does Davudi implement that kicking game again, even though that may leave him susceptible to the initiation of the clinch and therefore the takedown?
Phil, Sohail's back is just a little bit too close to that fence. He wants to be a little closer to the center.
As we say, now in on a high single, you might see the leg sweep, but changes beautifully his levels, does Abdulkhozhaev, and that all came off the initial kick from Davudi, who's doing well to stay on his feet right now, digging in, and beautiful work there.
Fantastic counter wrestling. There's that kick again.
But again, those takedowns are
Hands are
coming.
together, it's inevitable.
Again, those kicks are coming, or those kicks are acting as a trigger for Abdulkhozhaev to get the takedown. Right in front of us here in our broadcast position. Very, very close to the mounted position. Just needs to get a little bit higher. Shove those knees of Davudi down a little bit. But this is exactly where 23-year-old Anzor Abdulkhozhaev wants to play.
Again, Phil, I think that what Team Akhmat may do better than any other on the planet is top pressure from this position. They are a brutal ground and pound crew.
And he's lacing up the legs of Davudi beautiful. It may look like a half guard position, but again, this is what we call the anchor position in mixed martial arts. You're immobilizing the hips of your opponent, you're putting pressure down on them, and you're landing your strikes.
In addition to those hips being immobilized, Phil, with the top player's head driving the bottom player's head up against the fence, it's a double immobilization. It's a very hard position to launch an attack from.
Right now, I'd like to see Davudi try and switch to his left hip, open up that leg a little bit, and try and get the guard back. Because right now, he can't stay in a position like this for too long, because all he's really doing is eating shots right now, Kirik. Again, trying to get that wrist control on Abdulkhozhaev, but training out of Akhmat Fight Team, he's going to be more than aware of that. Just rolls the wrist right out of it and replies with a shot of his own.
Phil, unfortunately for Sohail, there is no way for him to escape this position without taking some punishment.
It's going to be very difficult for him facing out towards his right side to do anything offensively. As I say, I'd like to see him turn onto his left hip, which is going to force him to open up the guard, which may leave him vulnerable. But in mixed martial arts, it's very much high risk, high reward. He can't be a sitting target lying on his back like this.
All that said, he is launching some solid shots from the bottom. Highly unusual game to play, but he is having some luck with it. Unfortunately, gravity is a thing. Shots coming down are going to hit harder than shots moving up.
Ribbon Saber called for a little bit more action. Just as he said that, Abdulkhozhaev landed a beautiful shot to the body, then went up to the head, now burying his head into the jaw of Davide. Perfectly legal, very uncomfortable. But again, great work from Anzor Abdulkhozhaev just to immobilize and put pressure on the hips. Now we see Davide trying to work back for that guard. Has that butterfly hook and may try and pull Anzor towards himself. Creates a little bit of separation. Anzor needs to be wary of the up kick in a position like this. And again, just puts the pressure on, steps over and smothers Davide.
Brave Nation, when you see a fight like this, you may be wondering, well, why doesn't the player on the bottom stand up? He would love to. He has he's got an exquisite stand-up and base. He can't right now because these Ahmad fighters, every single one of them, have such mind-boggling pressure from top.
The baby-faced assassin Anzor Abdulkhozhaev just putting on insurmountable pressure right now that, unfortunately for Sohail Davide, he does not have an answer for. You can see him desperately trying to get a foot on the hip to try and push and create separation. But as soon as he does that, Anzor Abdulkhozhaev just dives right back in and smothers his opponent.
You can see the effect of those kicks on the body of Anzor Abdulkhozhaev. That rib area is reddened. I don't think he wants to get hit there again. I think he's smart. I wouldn't want to get hit there again either. And I think he's going to keep this fight here, doing enough damage to keep it on the mat. Referee decided it was not quite enough damage to keep it on the mat. They are upstanding. This certainly is good news for Sohail Davide.
Davide again with those devastating leg kicks and fired back from Anzor. Spinning back fist from Davide. Anzor does the smart thing by initiating the clinch. But again, you can see just how dangerous Davide is. And it's a very smart game plan being implemented by Anzor Abdulkhozhaev. Try and catch the kicks, try and take him down, close the distance, smother your opponent, try and take away what so far has proved to be the most dangerous strikes thrown in the fight, which are the ones coming from Sohail.
Once again, I think we're looking at a 10-9 round. If that's the case, and I believe strongly it is, Sohail Davide's corner is telling him he needs to stop his opponent in the third and final round. That's the advice he's hearing. They're probably saying, keep your back off the fence, circle when he comes in, use your hands as well as your kicks because you're getting taken down off of those kicks and you have to stop your opponent this round.
Would you tell Davide to kick at all? Because I would like to see him just purely turn this into a boxing match. Because yes, the kicks are heavy, but off two of those kicks he's been taken down so far, Kerry. So perhaps a little bit more boxing would be advantageous to Sohail.
He should only kick off the striking combinations, and as a Sanda expert, he's expert at that. He can let the hands go, then let the kicks go. It is not working for him when he throws the kicks naked.
Here we go, third and final round. Potentially Sohail Davide needing a finish to get the win. And if you're in the corner of Abdulkhozhaev, surely you're just saying more of the same.
He's felt the kicks like that. Shooting in for that double leg does not make a lot of sense to me. You land a beautiful kick like that, try and land another one. Nice knee to the body.
Yeah. You can see he's just trying to keep that hand there to try and immobilize the knees of Abdulkhozhaev coming in. But Abdulkhozhaev so strong in the clinch, has the hands connected. You could see a big flare double coming up here. Great work from Davide to raise the level of Abdulkhozhaev, thus negating that takedown.
Fighters are separated. This is where it could get interesting, Phil.
And there's the kick again, and off the kick potentially comes the takedown. Oh, big shot. Oh, that's heavy ground and pound from Davide. Could he be changing the tide of this fight?
Tables have turned dramatically, Phil.
And momentarily, it looked like Abdulkhozhaev was a little bit stunned. Can Davide snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat? If he is to do so, he needs to turn up the pressure right now. What a change in fortune this could potentially be, Kirik. Davide, for the first time in this bout, is the man on top, but he needs to go to work.
Khozhaev is staying cool, calm, and collected. Made a little knee shield, using that to go hand, knee, foot, and he's up. Howsoever, this could be frying pan and fire. This is exactly where our star from Iran wants it to be.
Davide looking down, kicking low, comes with the overhand, trying to defend that takedown, but like a dog with a bone.
Denied, this is and a guard pull.
Watch out for the wrist control there of Abdulkhozhaev. Potentially looked like he may have wanted to set up a triangle, but he's breathing a little heavy, and I don't think it's because he's necessarily gassed. I think it's because he's been hit with some heavy shots, and absorbing heavy shots has the tendency to deplete your gas meter, to deplete that energy level, not unlike the likes of a Street Fighter, the likes of a Tekken. The more damage that you accumulate, you receive, the lower your energy bar goes, Kirik.
It does, Phil. We are seeing a radically different round from the first two, but MMA is scored round by round. We're looking at a fighter who is down by 2 rounds. He has to stop his opponent. I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish that from inside a closed guard. I think he should separate, bring it up to standing, try those explosive hands.
Referee Reben Saber
does it for him.
Stands them up, and that's very much going to be within the interests of Sohail Davide.
Abdulkhozhaev is showing some fatigue, Phil.
And again, that's exactly where Anzor Abdulkhozhaev wants to fight. If you're Sohail right now, you want to get your feet on the hips of your opponent. You want to push him away. You want to stand right back up.
Fantastic gamesmanship from the Akhmat Fight Club member. I think he was feeling a little bit exhausted. Kick came in, he ate the kick, got an instant takedown. Now he's on top where he's in far less danger.
And whilst, we can obviously see the power that Sohail can generate with those kicks, they have been the starting point. They have been the trigger for Anzor Abdulkhozhaev to get the takedown.
I think what we're seeing here, Phil, is the other side of a background in Sanda. The good side is extraordinary kicks, tremendous punches. The downside is it's not a sport that allows extended ground time. It allows takedowns, but no ground fighting. Under his native rules, there would be an instant stand-up. But of course, this is mixed martial arts. You fight wherever the fight takes you.
Referee Reben Saber taking a long, hard look at this. Potentially may stand the fight up if his last stand-up's anything to go by. But with under a minute left in the fight, Davide really needs to pull something out of the hat here. Winning the round, quite simply, we don't think will be enough for him.
Aggressive use of the head from Anzor. Down to about 30 seconds. Sohail Davudi needs to get a foot in the hip, maybe eat a couple of there he goes, and now he's got to pop up to standing as quick as he can.
Needs to push off on the knee and get himself right back up. Anzor Abdulkhozhaev happy to dive right back in, smother his opponent, and with 20 seconds left in the bout, he may just hold on here. Again, controlling the ankle of his opponent beautifully, just to immobilize them and stop them from turning in towards him. 10 seconds left in the round.
Fantastic fight, Phil. I cannot wait to see more fights from fighters from Iran, and I sure can't wait to see more fighters from Akhmat Fight Club.
Anzor Abdulkhozhaev looks like he got here. We see what's pretty much been the story of the entire fight. Davide going with kicks, Anzor Abdulkhozhaev catching him, trying to take him down. It's a sort of lovely last big line of punches that third round. Ultimately, it may not have been enough.
Brave Nation, another incredible battle inside the Brave 43 cage. After 3 rounds, we go the judges' scorecard. All 3 judges score the bout 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the red corner, Anzor Abdulkhozhaev! Ladies and gentlemen, get ready, Saudi Arabia, and those watching around the world for our next battle. 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 9 wins and 1 loss. He stands 181 centimeters tall and weighs already 66.2 kilograms. Representing Akhmat Fight Club and fighting out of Grozny, Russia. Give it up for Anzor Abdulkhozhaev! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, this man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 12 wins and 8 losses. He stands 175 centimeters tall and weighs already 66 kilograms. Representing the incredible MMA team and fighting out of the Philippines. Give it up for Rolando D. Incredible! Your winner is Lee Doyle.
Glove touch. Big thanks to our broadcast partner, AD Sports. Again, big thanks. Broadcast partner, AD Sports.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, 5th fight of the night. Rolando D. Incredible taking on Anzor Abdulkhozhaev. You can see Anzor switching stances, trying to give Rolando D. Incredible different looks. Big head kick. Both men exchanging head kicks. See that constant switching from Anzor. Being proficient in both orthodox and southpaw lends itself to so many different attacks. Like we say, Rolando D. Incredible, just happy to stand there, and as soon as you make one mistake, he capitalizes with that concussive power that we saw at Brave 22. Throws everything into those hooks, Carrick.
Huge pop from this crowd. Phil, every nation we go to, there's a local Filipino population that follows the Filipino fighters religiously. It's awesome to host them at this event.
Anzor happy to stand and trade with the dangerous striker. I think eventually if Anzor so chooses, beautiful straight!
Down
there
to
it
the
is!
ground! Heavy shots!
And he's out! It's all over Anzor!
Referee stops the fight!
Anzor Abdulkhozhaev absolutely flips the script with concussive power. Lands a beautiful straight, follows up with some hellacious ground and pound, sending D. Incredible to the mat.
The Akhmat fighter out of nowhere with a knockout.
incredible finish here at Brave 33. This one comes to an end at 1 minute and 13 seconds of the very first round. Your winner by